It's your girl, She J Jazz, and we're here with Hit Factory Radio with Intimate Seconds, and I got a special guest with us today. Someone who I'm not a stranger with, but y'all definitely need to know who he is. Y'all give it up for Clientele.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Feels good to be here.
Yeah.
We're ready for it. Yeah.
I haven't seen you in a while. How you been?
I've been good. Been working on a lot of new things. So, you got to stay busy. Staying busy is the only way to, keep the ball rolling. So,
that's facts. That's big facts right there. So this is Intimate Seconds, and I call myself Dating the City. So we're definitely going to get into our relationship status, what we prefer, what we don't prefer. We might even play a little game before we dip into your artistry. But before we do that, y'all do know he is a rapper, so we're going to have some fire music to come afterwards. But y'all going to have to stay tuned to hear that. But let's get into this intimacy real quick.
Okay.
So before we get started, we all need to know, and I'm pretty sure I think I know this answer, but are we single, dating, or what? Are we taking?
Single.
You single?
Yes.
Dang, for real?
Yes.
How long? Is that recent?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to say, because I could have swore I thought you was in love.
As of April, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Hey, things happen. So, yeah, you got to keep it moving,
Yeah. All right, so this is going to be a great conversation. He done had recent love in his life, recent heartbreak. We're going to get it all here at Hit Factory Radio. So when before you and your girlfriend became you and your girlfriend, before your ex-girlfriend was your girlfriend, you get what I'm trying to say.
I get it.
In the very initial stages, what was the dating process like? Did you meet her in person? Was it a dating app? Did you approach her? Did she approach you? Like, what happened?
This was a person I've actually known for 16 years. So
what?
Yes, and the thing
like a
is,
high school friend?
No, not even that, because there's an age difference. So when she was younger than me. So the thing was, we've known each other since the MySpace days, but
I'm crying.
Yeah, but we've been cool for these years, and the thing was, she would try to initiate, let's try a relationship. But you know how you'll have a close friend and you're like, I think this is better to stay like this. So, but over the years, we've been cool. So after a while, she was like, you still don't think we could try that? And I was like, you know what? But in my mind, I'm like, I don't know. Because a lot of times when friends go to relationship, if it ends, it doesn't go back to the friendship that it used to be. And that's where we are now. After the relationship was over, I completely am removed from that person. So it was for the best, but it would have been better if we just stayed friends. So it was somebody I've known for a while that we went into the relationship process and it didn't work. So it ended and we both went our ways. So, that's what it is.
Okay, y'all knew each other for 16 years, right?
Yes.
She pretty much approached you and wanted to start the relationship.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, in the beginning of the relationship, did you guys have some type of communication of expectations or at least intentions on dating?
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
We went to a place called, I forgot the name of the place, but it was a nice restaurant.
Wine and dine.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
yeah, because
say the lady out.
But we live in South Florida. There's a lot of great restaurants. It's great everything down here. So we would go out a lot and have fun. Mm-hmm. So we talked. I remember we were at the bar. We were having dinner, and we talked about it. It was like, listen, this is where we want to go. This is what we want to do, and these are the deal breakers.
Yeah.
Everything, of course, at that moment, okay, understood. This is what we're supposed to do. This is what we're going to do. And this is what we're not going to do. How it ended was she ended up doing one of the things that I told her not to do. After she said that she understood that she wasn't going to do it. Oh, I'll never do that. I'll never do that. No. You don't have to worry about me doing that. And she ended up doing it. And I was like, so even though we had this conversation, you still... But I guess when some people are going through some things and they lash out or do whatever, they don't realize it. But I feel like if you tell a person something and they agree that, yes, I understand, and I understand if it happens, that this will end.
These are the consequences.
Yeah, these are the consequences. And I'm a forgiving person. So when it happened, I actually was like, okay, I'm going to fall back and I'm going to see if this is exactly where you want to take it. So the next day I doubled down, like, the deal breaker thing, remember that? you sure you want to go that route? And they kind of doubled down on it. So I was like, okay, well, you have to come get your stuff and you have to go. And I haven't spoken to them since. So that's how that happened.
I am lost for words. I'm sorry. You done kicked the whole girl out and everything.
Well, I mean, she had her own place.
Your shit out my place now. I don't want to deal with it. Oh my God. So I want to bring it up before we move on, since we're on the topic. And you don't have to say, you know, what exactly happened, but what are your deal breakers? Like, what kind of deal breakers do you typically have in a relationship?
Number one, and I've learned this over time, number one for a deal breaker is disrespect. I feel like once a person disrespects you and you let it slide, the bar just starts going lower, meaning the disrespect increases over time.
Oh, wow.
I honestly believe that. And not just in relationships, business, anything. So like they say, you give them an inch, they take a mile.
Yeah.
So the thing, now, this is going to be even crazier when I tell you this part. This person, we tried this a year ago. The disrespect that happened the year before happened again. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how did y'all get back into it the second?
That was your deal breaker.
Yeah, because I left it alone after the first time. That person, months went by, that person came back calling me. I learned from my mistakes. I know not to do that again. I've been doing this. I've been improving myself. And I realized I was wrong. I shouldn't have did this. I shouldn't have did that. And you will never have to worry about me doing that again. So at first I was like, I don't know. But, you know, started hanging out again. And they was like, I will learn my lesson. You sure I'm like, man, I don't know. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to see something. And went again, and it happened again. So obviously that person didn't learn nothing. So
yeah, like when you say disrespect though as one of your deal breakers, are we talking like talk back, you know, belittling one another? Give an example of one of those disrespectful moments that you're like, I can't deal with this on a long-term basis.
Hanging up in my face.
Oh,
number one deal breaker.
I hate that too.
Yeah,
I
feel like that's the total disrespectful thing you can do.
Especially if it's not an accident.
Yeah, exactly. But what I hate about a lot of things people do is you ask them a direct question and they beat around it. So for instance, I'll explain. When the hang up thing happened, I said, so you hanging up, right? Instead of saying yes or no, I'm like, I just need to know you hung up on purpose, right? Well, I mean, you know, you were going to call me back anyway, so, you know, it don't make no sense for me to sit on the phone. Okay, so you're dancing around the question. So
they want to. I see what you're saying. If you're going to do something that's not in your favor, you need to at least take accountability or responsibility.
There go the word, accountability. Yes, and that person didn't. That person never would take accountability. So I was like, you know what? This is going to be more damaging down the line, because if this is where we at right here, it's going to increase.
Yeah.
So you just go now and let me go my way.
Good.
So, yeah.
Night.
And so that's
Good.
what it was.
Now, I know for me, I know hanging up is very disrespectful, but sometimes I know me and how angry I get, and I know my mouth will get me in more trouble than anything. So most of the time, if I do hang up on you, you ask for it, because I'll say, I need to get off this phone. I need to get off because I'm going to say something I don't want to say.
I've even heard.
You need to let me go. I said, I'm going to hang up right now. No disrespect. I need you to know right now, me hanging up on you is not disrespect, because I keep asking you to release me off this phone, but you're insisted that we keep this conversation going, and it's not going to end well.
It's a difference if you say something like that, but that's not never said. If you say that, or if the person at least says, look, I'm hanging up right now. So you give a warning.
You give a
warning.
warning.
If you're in the middle of talking and it just hangs up,
it just clicks.
Yeah,
that's like a
totally
slap in the
different.
face to me.
Exactly.
Like, fuck what you got to say, bitch.
That's basically what they're saying. So yeah. So at that point, I was like, nah, I'm all right with this. But like I said, there's consequences to certain actions, especially if you told a person that.
Yeah.
So I can see if you never said anything and then you was like, okay, well, this came as a shock or a surprise.
Yeah.
But if you tell a person that, then no. You've been warned.
Yeah, so, those conversations are important. For like me, you said disrespect and obviously not being able to take accountability. For me, I absolutely can't stand a liar.
Yeah.
I cannot stand a liar. To me, I feel
especially when you
though,
catch them in lies.
Yeah, you catch them in a lie, and it'd be like a dumb lie. Now, I understand some lies are needed in certain relationships. And when I say that, it's hard. Some people can't or don't know the difference between a white lie and a real lie. Let's say I have gained a little bit of weight, right? In a relationship, because guys are always talking about women's bodies. And I do look good, but you got to tell me in a way that I don't look good. Sometimes if I look presentable to the public and I don't look extremely crazy, you just got to eat that pill and let my ego be good for a moment.
Okay.
Because mental health wise, you just be like, dang, like, I don't look okay at least. Then you start questioning everything.
Yeah.
You know, if you be like, babe, you do look nice. That might not be your favorite outfit. It might not be. But today I need it to be your favorite outfit. Like, I just need you to know when that white lie is needed. But it's not needed all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if I'm getting fat,
yeah.
my belly hanging out the jeans, you know, my titties down to my knees, like something need to happen. You get what I'm saying? Like, then you got to tell me the truth and sit me down and be like, babe, you know I love you, or, you know, I care about you, but you want to go for a walk? I mean, I might get mad. I have an attitude because my feelings are always going to be hurt because I'm an emotional person.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to appreciate and value your opinion, and I'm going to appreciate your honesty with me. Because I will say this, I served in my country. You know, you would think I've been fit like this all my life or whatever, but the last 2 years of my military career, I got fat. I got really fat because I got sick, so I couldn't work out like I used to. And then I became an emotional eater, so, you know, I just got fat, right? I was almost 200 pounds.
Wow.
But every time I was around my sister and my loved ones and my friends and even a lot of my homies, well, nobody telling me I was getting fat. Nobody told me I was fat. And I'm still sitting here thinking I'm cute and shit. And no, I wasn't at all. I was not the cute girl in the group no more. I was the ugly fat girl in the group. And I just wish, you know, someone was honest with me and been like, hey, Jazz, I noticed you gained a whole nother body. You know, what's up with that? But there was no one there to be honest with me. Everyone just wanted to make me feel good. So I understand to a certain extent why we need to feel good. But even health-wise, sometimes people just need the truth. Like, all right, I need you to last a little longer. So, you know, let's go for this run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In life, in bed, in everything. Because being healthy, you know, matters in all aspects in a relationship and in your life.
Of course, yes. I agree.
So, like, for me, so a liar, unless you know how to tell a white lie, you know, I let it go, booty boo. And if sometimes you do catch somebody in the lie, sometimes if I can understand where the lie came from, I can be forgiving.
I get it.
Because sometimes people, they are habitual liars and just don't understand that they're lying. I can't stand those.
Those are the ones that lie. They lie so much they don't even know. Like, it's fluent. It's like
it just come out as like word vomit.
Lie after lie after lie. You're like, oh damn!
You
like,
didn't even have to lie about that.
Like, you really ain't have to lie about that. Like, that was like, and I think that's a sickness. I'm gonna be honest. When people do that.
And then you got those who know how to, you know. Like my one friend, I was in a club, my whole ponytail fell off. I had a ponytail in my hair.
Oh, man.
And I was too lit. Shut up, Benji. The cameraman looking at me. My whole I'm in not KLD's, where I was at Playhouse, just living my best life for somebody's birthday, and that whole ponytail came off. And I looked at my homegirl, and I said, well, can I get away without the ponytail? Because I really didn't feel like going to the bathroom to fix it. Like, I just wanted to put it in my purse and call it a fucking day.
Yeah.
And she said, girl, you look good, but go put that ponytail back on.
Whoa.
You see how it was nice, but it was like, go put the ponytail back on, bitch.
Yeah.
And I had made a whole post and a whole story. I'm in the bathroom trying to fix my ponytail lit. And everybody was like, you know what? Everybody need a friend like that. And you do. Like, they told the truth, but they did it in a way. Yeah. They lied and told the truth at the same time.
It wasn't harsh.
I didn't look good because she told me to go put the ponytail back on.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. So for you, do you have any, like, absolute deal breakers other than those?
Besides disrespect, besides the lying, which is, you know, too many lies when they add up, you like, hey, man, it's just too much. Because, like, now I can't even believe you by small stuff. I don't know what's the lie and what's the truth now. So being hard to manage that, then you like, well, damn, this is like a toss-up. I don't know what I'm going to do with you.
Yeah.
But, well, cheating, who wants to be cheated on?
Facts.
Nobody wants that. You know what I'm saying?
Big facts. Nobody loves a cheater.
Yeah, nobody wants that. But, and you know, this day and age with social media and everything, you know, I was just explaining to somebody, I said, back in the days, a person used to date the people in their vicinity, you know, in the
their
area.
neighborhood, in their area.
Yeah, area. If you go out and meet somebody at the club downtown.
Or at church.
Yeah. Or nowadays, a woman from Miami can message a guy in Japan and he could fly her out the next day. That is too open of options for both genders, basically.
I'm crying.
Yeah, for man and woman, that's too much going on. Like, so you have to always be trying to think of what can you do or what can to spice everything up. You don't know if your significant other is talking to 10 dudes in their DM, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's bad enough if they have to go to the store and, that, like I said, that used to be the only thing. Your girl or your guy goes to the store, to the mall, okay, they might run into some people that they, might. But now you got that plus the social media stuff. It's like it's unlimited options. So trust is very hard these days. So
trust is hard. I will definitely agree to that because nowadays, even though I wouldn't even say people like to talk about their intentions, but not knowing or really understanding their intentions really questions how much can you trust somebody.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's hard to find someone you actually connect and relate with within the community or within your vicinity. And I think that's why other people love the fact that the world is so wide now and they can find someone who's willing to do it. Like I hear a lot of guys all the time, even beforehand, they love overseas women because they felt as though they were more submissive or they listened more than American women.
Yeah, that's been the thing going around. They call them the passport bros. That's been a big thing going on.
I never heard that, but
yeah, that's what we call the passport bros. But the thing about it is, now that even over there, they have social media. They know what's going on also. It's not just limited to here. So you can go over there and the same things can happen. So I feel like nowadays you just got to try to vet the best you can. That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Other than that, what's the difference? Knowing that everybody in the whole world has the same playing options means that nobody's out there, let me go over here because they don't know about this yet. Or let me go over here because they not hip to the game yet. Everybody's hip to the game. So when you're going out here trying to date and stuff, you just have to be on your P's and Q's and try not to fall for the nonsense.
You're right, because they got so many TikToks now today, how to do this, how to do that, how to get you a sugar daddy, how to get you a sugar mama, how to become, how to get flowed out. There's so many different tutorials now. YouTube got it all. These social influencers is really, I'm going to say, putting us on game because I just would have never known all this was happening.
It's a lot that men have, that I've learned as a man, and women, I'm sure, like you said, you've learned a lot too. Like people are making TikToks, Instagram videos, Facebook videos. They are letting people know, like, in every category, this is how you do this, this is how you do this. So, like I said, nobody's in the dark anymore. Everybody knows the playbook.
Yeah.
So, you just got to be extra careful,
So when it comes to dating with intentions, I know it's been hard for me because even when I just ask that question, if a guy, takes me out on a date or he asks us to take me on a date, before we even go there, I normally ask him because it's probably in my DMs or whatever, what are your intentions with dating me?
Yeah.
Is that a complicated question for you guys?
No.
Because I understand a lot of them be like, I have none, or what do you mean? Like, they don't understand the question. And I'm just like, it's not that hard to understand. Like, are you just trying to fuck? Or are you really trying to get to know me? Are you trying to do business with me? Like, let me know. Because sometimes I could just be down for a little something quick, but you never know if you're not honest with me. But if you want to lead me down this path of you thinking that, or have me thinking that we're going to have this longevity relationship possibly and blah, 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 when really all you was trying to do was smash, like, we could have got that bit and over with. Like,
yeah. Exactly.
I feel like time is valuable and no one's really understanding that anymore.
Nothing is more valuable than time. Not even money. You can always make that money back. You can't get that time back.
Facts. That's big facts.
You can't get that time back. I mean, especially if you're a person that's really busy. Like, you really made me waste these few hours with this nonsense when I could have been doing something else. So with relationships, that's the most valuable thing. Not even money with relationships. I think time is the most important factor.
Yeah.
So, when things end, you be like, I really wasted all this time. Like, I could have been doing something else. So, yeah. So, honestly, I agree with you about the time thing. You have to gauge it wisely. But people, everybody's not the same. Some people going to waste your time because they're bored. A lot of people are bored. A lot of people don't have hobbies,
Yeah.
So, there you go.
No, you're right. They bored and just want to do anything. Yeah. Anything that'll get their attention and take their mind off of whatever they got going on.
Until they're bored. And now it's on to the next thing. And that's with both. That's with men and women. That's with both. Damn. Can't just say it's one side. It's both sides,
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, you just said it.
Hard truth.
I'm over here and I'm just a distraction. You like, until he gets bored. I'm like, oh shit.
No, but I'm saying.
Right. You're right, because that's why, I was watching this one podcast and this one guy said, how nowadays, and we're going to talk about marriage in a second, but he said nowadays people think marriage is the end goal, when really marriage should be the beginning, and the end goal is dying with the one that you married. We're so quick, either we get bored or we get frustrated, we don't know how to work through our problems, we just want to go to the next and try it all over again.
And I think social media has a lot to do with that ending faster now. You know, back in the day, your grandparents and stuff they would thug it out, even if they was not really seeing eye to eye. 20, 30, 40 years. The average marriage these days statistically says doesn't last 2 years.
Wow, I was thinking it's gonna be like 2 to 5 years. Good night.
They say most people make it like the longest usually is 8 to 10.
Good
that's
night.
Usually the longest. And to me,
that's like a long time.
That don't even seem like that long. Especially 8. 8 definitely don't seem like a long time, really. You know what I'm saying? Before you know it, the older you get, the faster time moves. Before you know it, 8 years is up. You know what I'm saying? So I honestly think it has a lot to do with you know what, if it don't work with you, it's like 30 more in my DM. I'll just try one of them. And then they don't have the same intentions as the one you with. So,
you're right. You're so right.
Yeah.
Now, you brought up your grandparents and how they used to date back then. Let us know, how was your childhood? Like, were you raised in a 2-parent household? What was your examples of love and relationship as a child?
Well, my household was me, my mom, my aunts, cousins. It was a big house. My dad, he had his own place. He would come through and get me, stuff like that. But it wasn't 2 parents. Like, my mom had me, and then my dad would come get me, stuff like that. But my dad ended up getting married, and my mom ended up getting married to,
other people
or whatever. But it was always love. I wasn't one of those. I've never been, and I even tell people that in my music, I was never one of them dudes who grew up dirty, walking around, in the streets and all that. Like, I was a spoiled child. I'm my mama's only child. So I was a spoiled child, so I got whatever I want. But the problem, this is what I think, what kind of set me back a little bit was seeing, because I'm an 80s baby, so I grew up in the 90s. So, back then, it was a lot of like, R&B was big. Movies
we had a lot of love,
love
songs. Black love was a real strong and powerful thing.
Exactly. So your program, like what you see is what you're going to imitate. So you think these are the ways that you do things to get love and find love, but a lot of those things didn't work for a lot of us guys. And women mature faster than men. So I feel like, because women tend to be young and they run into older guys at younger ages. So of course y'all learn faster. Men, we learn slower because, if a woman have 10 men to choose from, a guy might have 2. So y'all will gain from older guys while we still dating girls our age, and we learning from uncles or dads or things that I seen this on TV. Let me try this move. Maybe it'll work with her. So I say that to say women mature fast and they learn everything quicker. So men were kind of like left out to just fend for themselves and do what they had to do to get to a certain point to be like, okay, I know how this relationship thing works or whatever. But yeah, I grew up in a house with a lot of love, you know what I'm saying? So I was never like came out, whatever, and thought that, well, this not gonna work. I'm gonna move over here. I'm gonna move over here. I'm gonna move over here. Like, once I turned 18, I think that's when I started, okay, I'm gonna explore my options. But high school, middle school, all that, I was a one woman man, the girl, the girlfriend type, keep the girlfriend and all that. But I don't know. I think when I turned 18 and when I got into the streets as an adult at this time, then I was like, let me just explore a little bit more with
a little something extra.
A couple girls here, a couple girls there. But I learned a lot from doing that. I learned more from doing that. I learned how a lot of women operated that I would run into, because in that type of game, when you're doing that, you run into, and I didn't know this when I was young because I didn't run into these type, but every dude has been a side dude before, and it makes you look at relationships different because you see what that person that you're with has to do to keep their main person entertained while they entertain you. So that make you be like, well, do I ever want to be a main person in a relationship? Because damn, I see how y'all moving. So I don't even know if I want to move like that. So it just taught me a lot to like just be wise with your choices and be upfront with what you expect. Like you said, be upfront with what you expect from a person, because a lot of people will say, yeah, I want to committed relationship with just you by yourself, and then they have side people, and then you like, well, damn. So it's serious, and you got to be careful these days. People out here killing over significant others. So yeah,
they are. It's a lot going on. Just period with relationships. I feel as though I was born in the '80s, raised in the '90s, and I feel as though
best era.
R&B, Black love, and all that still exists, but I feel media doesn't push it anymore like it did back then. Now they want to push, I feel like, all the toxic things, all the negative things to, control what is really going on in our homes. And I feel as though also back then, when people were in relationships and dating, the whole world and the whole neighborhood didn't know unless it was done in public. You get what I'm saying? Like what was going down, you got cheated on, you got beat, whatever the case may be.
It wasn't a post.
It wasn't a
on
post.
Facebook.
It wasn't a story. It didn't go viral because, whatever. Like you had time to really deal with what was going on in your life without the outside influence and everybody commenting and telling you what you need to do or how you should do it. It wasn't so many how-to videos and all that good stuff. So now you feel, they had book, remember the dummy books?
Yeah, such and such for dummies.
Such and such for dummies. They got books and stuff, but to actually go and watch it and get all these different opinions from people who don't even come from your type of neighborhood or your background, I feel like it really confuses a lot of people too. And two, I feel as though like nowadays, everyone, I feel as though because of social media and Google and how much information we can actually put out there, people think, and I would say a lot of men think, they're poly out here. And they don't understand the true definition or what a poly lifestyle really is. Okay. Like a lot of guys think just because they're dating multiple women, they're poly. No. And I'm like, no, do all your women know about each other?
That's the problem right there.
Is the communication there? Oh, you have a girlfriend. Does your girlfriend know that you're dating me right now? Oh, she doesn't. So you're clearly cheating. You're not in a poly relationship. And just because I agreed to this date doesn't mean we're in a poly relationship.
Exactly.
I just didn't know all the information and all the facts. But now that I do, let's talk about it. Are you going to say something or no? It's just something that's just, it's just a lot of questions. And I feel as though no one is truly trying to keep the traditional aspect of a relationship. And if they are, it's hard for them to say that out loud.
Why do you think it's hard for them to say it out loud?
Because right now with social media and the vibes of how things is rolling, like people are either frowned upon, laughed at, or made fun of for trying to do what they feel is right.
For monogamous relationships?
Yeah, I feel like I love seeing Black love. I love seeing, I feel like anytime I find an account that demonstrates Black love or, mahogany, I love it because it inspires me to let me know that type of love is still out there, because like only thing that's thrown in our face is all the toxic things. I feel like, and then I would say maybe that's just me because, what we look at, it controls our feed, what we research and all that stuff controls, what you actually see in your feeds and everything. But honestly, if you're always looking at a lot of positive things, I don't think you're just going to constantly see a whole bunch of positive things. I just don't think social media works like that.
No.
But like, to me, I just feel like if dating was like it was back in the 90s, you could really, talk about intentions. Oh, I want to date because I want to find a wife. And then I want to find, I want to have a family and boom, boom, boom. I feel like that's far-fetched now. And I feel like guys are not typically looking for that anymore. And I do believe it's heavily based off of media and music.
But let's shoot the guy some bail, a little bit of bail. There are a lot of women also who promote, girl, go out there, date, have as much sex as you want, and then look for a guy later. They're not. A lot of women are not telling women, don't run through your 20s doing all of this stuff, because I honestly feel like the more partners you have, it clouds your judgment down the line. This is just what I think. I'm not saying it's true, but I think the more you have, because when you finally get somebody you want to be in a relationship with or get married to or whatever, as a woman, if you've had every good thing during your college and your younger years, I mean, you have nothing to look forward to. Now you get married. You know what? I did everything when I was younger. Now I'm stuck with this boring guy. And I see a lot of women post about that. Oh, I found a good guy, but he was boring. I need some excitement in my life. What do you mean excitement? What's the excitement that you need?
I agree with you. I agree with you. I do agree with you. There are a lot of women out here all for independence. Take care of yourself. I'm very independent myself. Like I'm the type of person, I'm not going to ask you to take me anywhere I can't take myself.
Okay.
If I can't afford it, I'm definitely not going to ask you for it or expect you to take care of it because I can't take care of it because as an independent woman, it's just, I feel like, why? But anyways, a lot of women would go against that, you know, but anyways, I feel like those women been hurt.
Okay.
And I feel like when we get hurt severely like that, I've been married and divorced twice. When you experience certain trauma in your life, sometimes you teach yourself, well, how can I prevent this feeling happening again? And I feel as women, after we've been hurt, after being so submissive and so supportive to the male factor, now the only choice we have to be is independent. Now we just going to teach ourselves to rely on ourselves and, you know what, let me have fun, let me do this, because at the end of the day, y'all are doing the same thing and you're just going to hurt me again.
Well, I mean, I never looked at it that way, but of course, I'm not a woman, so I wouldn't know.
And okay, maybe this generation having kids, maybe, you know, whatever, their kids are maybe being born more independent than whatever because that's the culture out here. But like us that was born in the 80s and 90s was being raised up in the 2000s.
Yeah, it was a different vibe.
Like it's a different vibe. And like now I just feel like, you know, when they got hurt, you know, they learned how to heal possibly. You know, they didn't really demonstrate it too much of the healing process because we didn't have social media like that. But
was that a good thing that we didn't have it?
But you didn't see them running off doing all the independent stuff themselves. You still saw them still out there dating, being submissive, still letting a man open a door for her, let him take care of the bill, blah, blah, blah. All those good things. You still saw a woman cooking and cleaning. Cooking and cleaning is still a thing, guys. I cook, I clean. I don't know why y'all can't find me, but I'm here. But anyways, all those things are still there, but it's just like, now it's kind of friendly. Like, girl, you cook and clean? Like, what you doing all that for?
Yeah.
Like, what you doing all that for? Girl, these niggas ain't shit.
Yeah.
And that's because they've been through a lot of ain't shit guys. And I know every guy in the world is not a bad guy, but I do feel as though a lot of guys or a lot of men these days don't know how to communicate exactly what they want from a woman.
Okay.
I feel like they're just really in it for the catch of things.
Okay.
It's like a game.
And once they catch you, then they don't know what
It's
to do
over
with you.
with. Or once they smash, then it's like, all right, on to the next challenge. But that hurts women. So then, of course, we're going to be like, you know what? I'm independent. Fuck these hoes.
Okay. You're right. I get it. But, okay. You said, which I didn't know that you had. I didn't even know you've been married before.
Oh, yeah. I've been married twice. I was in the military. You know, we was doing a lot of things.
Oh, well, because I've always heard I heard the military marriages is totally crazy,
different.
Like,
It's
crazy.
It's a little bit more motivated by a little bit different things y'all probably would never understand. But I would say my first marriage, I definitely loved him. I'm not going to lie.
How old were you?
Oh, I was 19 when I got married.
Oh, early out the gate.
Well, I'm a liar. I was about 20, but I got pregnant at 19. I got pregnant. And we had a baby, and once we got married, at first I didn't want to get married at first.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to get married at first. He had to beg me for months to marry him. And then I had my parents fussing at me because I did come from a Christian-based home. So now I'm, having a baby out of wedlock. That was really huge.
Yeah.
You know, back then it's crazy huge, especially when you come from a Christian-based family. And so, I used to be a huge people pleaser. So I was like, F it, let's get married. Let's do it. I'll fall in love. I used to have the thought process as back in the day, people were placed together and they fell in love after the years. I used to feel like, so it doesn't necessarily have to be, rainbows and sunshines up front. We can build up to that.
Yeah.
So, he was more motivated by money benefits and everything else you get in the military when you get married. So unfortunately, I didn't see all those signs until it was too late after we got married. But whatever. I married him, but I did love him. I cared about him. I would have did anything and everything for him. But I feel like a woman, how long was I supposed to deal with the cheating and the lying and the mental abuse until I know, okay, I can't set this example for my daughter.
Yeah.
And I feel as though, back then, I think I was in a time frame where it was like, okay, I know if I just suck it up a little bit longer because we're both young, and he's just young and dumb right now. If I could just suck it up a few more years, I could probably have these glory years with him. But can I even make it?
What was the breaking point?
It got to the point where I couldn't go on base or off base because everybody didn't fuck my husband.
Whoa.
And I just,
Yeah.
it was just to a point where I was about to end up in jail because he was even fucking the foreigners trying to get a green card. And I'm just like, are y'all stupid? This nigga's still married. You're not getting a green card. Like in America, you cannot have more than one wife. So I don't understand. I do not understand y'all motives. And they were posting pictures with my child, just doing the mostest. Because, you know, he would always bring them around these random ass hoes.
He was out here wild.
Yeah, he was wild. And so I had to tap into my independency and be like, I need to get the fuck up out of here with my child before I end up in jail and can't take care of my child. Because there's been many times I just wanted to drag a bitch because she tried me. And I was a great wife. I was a good wife. I cooked, I cleaned. I might have not have been as sexual experienced, like you said, because I didn't do a lot young. You know, I got married young. But that was his opportunity to teach me and show me what he liked. Like, we could have watched porn and stuff together, so I could have figured it out.
That's a good thing that you weren't experienced at 19, because the average 19-year-old in 2023 is pretty experienced.
I mean, I'm experienced. I feel like I'm experienced now. I probably ain't experienced shit, but I feel like I know a little something now. But I will say that because I opened myself before, I used to think it would be bad to look at porn, to do all those little things. But now I'm going to go, how do you give head? Because obviously I don't know what I'm doing. Let me watch this. Oh. Like, you don't know. Like, that's what's supposed to happen because your parents and your mom and all of them is not going to teach you that. They're going to shelter you, but let you know once you get married, you share certain experiences. And sometimes I feel like a man isn't as open and communicative in the sex world. You know, I don't know if he feels unmanly or what, or he doesn't want to hurt your feelings, or I don't know. But sometimes they don't communicate what exactly it is.
It's totally different now. You got back then.
Nowadays
you had to rent tapes and stuff. Now all you got to do is pop up on Google.
Nowadays, your head gets shoved in someone's asshole so quick, and you're like, whoa, can we talk about this first? The fuck is going on? Wowzers. But I will say, you're right. With having so many experiences with so many people, it gets harder to actually just be committed to one person because you're always having it back in your mind. Like, my second husband, hands down, he gives the best calf massages. Can't nobody massage my calves the way that he massaged my calves, and I don't think they ever be able to. Even when I go get them done professionally.
Wow.
I'd be like, man,
okay, what made you try it the second time?
The second time, okay, so the first time, I feel like he was like the definition of the bad guy, looked good, did all the bad things, whatever.
The bad boy, okay.
You know, he was the bad boy, whatever. So years and years later, I'm dating this guy, and I gave him a chance. He's completely opposite of what I would have normally dated. He was a good guy. You know, he was all about his career.
You had both sides of the coin.
He was all about his career. He was respectful to his mother and his grandma, to his family. He took care of them. Like, he took care of his nieces and nephews. Like, he just was a really great guy. And I just saw, at the time, I was praying to God to bring me a man that was great in all the things I sucked at. Because I said at this point, I need to start praying for looks, likes, and all this other stuff. Like, I need to be realistic in who I really want to be with long term. And I was like, if I can have someone who's like better with their finances than me, you know, better, you know, taking care of this and that, good with their hands, blah, 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 I'll be happy. And here comes this man, great in all the things I suck at. And he actually dated me and everything was Gucci. So we did get married faster than what I would have wanted because, of course, he got orders to go overseas. And then when you're in the military dating, sometimes you panic.
Oh, so they both were military guys.
Yeah, both of them were military. I served 11 and a half years. Man, I dated a lot of military. Going overseas. The thing is not him just going overseas. It's trying to get the orders to come back. And so sometimes you can't control it as much as you want to, even though you have a dream sheet or whatever. So, you know, he begged me to marry him because he didn't want to, in his mind, after we talk and get a divorce and everything, of course, he married me so fast because he didn't want to lose me. He knew if he went overseas and we were still just engaged or dating, I was probably going to be up out of here, which was probably facts. Because I would have realized I'm just faking the funk, and I got to stop faking the funk just because someone's a good person.
Yeah.
But I be trying to get the good people a chance because I'm tired of dealing with the bad guys. But, you know, eventually, you know, it just didn't work out. He ended up being mentally abusive, too, and all kind of stuff. Like, after he was the type, like, he feels as though he's doing everything right, so why I'm not doing what he thought I should be doing. And during that time, I had a lot of issues with my first ex-husband and my daughter with the whole custody battle. So a lot of things put me in a very dark, deep hole, and I fell into deep, dark depression. So, of course, I don't want to have sex. Of course, I don't want you to touch me. Of course, You know, I'm going through a lot. And sometimes people can't recognize depression and anxiety. Even when you're going to the doctor and getting put on medication, they still think you're supposed to be a normal person around them. And I was at the point where I'll be normal at work, smile, do what I got to do, airman spake, you know, sergeant spake, whatever. But as soon as I came and took that uniform off, it was like that commercial with the antidepressants.
And
you know, they zip out. They have their little skin. And then when they get home, they come out the skin and they're all, you know, ugly and shriveled and, you know, they're just hiding away. Like, that was me. Damn. I could funk it. Well, I could funk it. I could fake it until I make it home. And then once I get home, it's just, let me be in the dark. Damn. Let me just be in the dark and be in the way. But yeah, that didn't work. But I know we don't need to have so many as partners. But I mean, how do you know what you want if you don't experience it?
If you experiencing it to do what you say, like, you know, let me get out here a little bit and just see so I can know, have a variety and know exactly what I want. And just going off the goddamn deep end, like, man, it's just a free-for-all for the next 5 years. I'm going to just ride what we call a ride the cock carousel. I'm going to just ride the carousel for 2-3 years. And then get it, because this is what a lot of women do. And I'm going to just be honest. A lot of women, not all, but a lot of them will get out of marriages or long-term relationships.
And wild the fuck out.
And wild out. But what I always, what I wanted, I'm going to ask you, why do women do that? What does that conquer when you get out of a long-term relationship or whatever and you do that? What does that fix?
Put me on the spot there.
Yes.
I can't speak for all women, and I'm just going to come with a generalized statement so y'all don't beat me up later or anything for this, and I know y'all probably will come for me in the comments, but I feel as though us hoeing out or wilding out after we obviously was probably hurt. Something happened to where the relationship didn't work. We didn't feel like we were enough, or we was hurt mentally, spiritually, or physically. So I feel as though the aftermath of us regaining our power. So if I could control who's in my body and what they do to my body afterwards, now I feel like I have everything under control. Or if I could control how much emotion is involved, now I could control if I get hurt or not. You know, it all. I feel
Never
like it
heard.
depends on.
That's a good explanation.
It depends on exactly why, you know, you broke up. But let's say after my first marriage, yeah, I went overseas. I wilded the fuck out. I was in Turkey having a good fucking time. Eventually, I found my girlfriend and we were engaged and shit. But we was fucking hoes together at one point.
Hey.
So it was just like you go through a stage like, and then sometimes you feel so bad and hurt depending on what you went through in the relationship. You just want to feel good.
Okay.
And that might be the wrong way to make yourself feel good, but that's what a lot of women resort to. Especially if they wasn't feeling like they were enough and some man or woman comes and make them feel and say the right thing and you ain't never felt no type of way. Now you just like, you know what? I am a goddess. I am a queen. You right. You right. I am beautiful. I am sexy. My booty is perfect.
Okay.
Like you're getting all the things you never heard before. And so sometimes lucky for them, you just got out of something horrible. So everything they're saying sounds golden.
Sounds golden. Okay, great.
It's not
I've never asked a woman that,
like,
so it's good to hear a woman explain.
It's not like, let me just go be a hoe because I want to go be a hoe. And that's not necessarily in our mind either.
Yeah.
Let me go hoe out. Sometimes we don't, without going to therapy or speaking to the right people, you don't even realize that's what you're really doing. You're looking for validation in other things you shouldn't be looking for validation in. You really should be taking the time to heal. If you're really that hurt, you know, learn how to grow thicker skin and know that you're always the prize. You're always going to be enough regardless of who says what to you. You know, yes, we all have personal growth that we can do. If the reason why the relationship didn't work out because it was something on your part, you know, you couldn't communicate something properly or you're just untrustworthy or something, you could work on certain things. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like when you've been in those relationships and you feel as though you was 100% committed to that relationship, you was there for them, it's just they weren't there for you and now they just let you go for the next bitch, you just like.
You said you want to say something about marriage. Now, I just want to chime in on this right quick. I honestly think, because we talked about like why marriage in 2023 isn't like a high priority.
Yeah.
For the men, I'm going to just say, I think a lot of men just are dodging getting taken to the cleaners because a lot of them are. Especially
right.
Especially when 70% of women file for divorce. So a woman can I'm tired of this. This is over for me. I'm moving on. And if she divorced you, she can still take your stuff. And I just think a lot of men who have high level careers and have worked for everything or whatever, and when that happens, that breaks a man down. A lot of men commit suicide after divorces, which is
nice.
there's a high number if you look it up. A lot of men commit suicide after divorces because everything that they work for is gone. Like the woman can actually wake up and say, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. And he'll be blindsided and get taken through the ringer. A guy that I watch very much, shout out Coach Greg Adams, he had to live in his car for months after his divorce until he finally got enough money to get himself back up. And that has to be tough.
Yeah, but my thing is, there's going to be a percentage of women who, yes, just wake up and be like, you know what? I don't want this anymore. I want to live whatever type of life. But a lot of them divorces end because the men are not treating their women the way they're supposed to be treating their wives.
Okay.
I will say that. Now, I filed for divorce for both of my divorces. Mm-hmm. I went for the divorce. I ain't got time. My first one, I just felt so disrespected with how many women he didn't went through and how many times he had to lie to me to do it. The fact that I'm at home. Luckily, in my career, I had a regular, 8 to 5 shift, even though we had to rotate weekends. So whoever had the on-call phone, because I did communication, so I fixed hardware and software. So if the pilots need their laptop and stuff fixed after hours, they're going to call me. But it's always work stuff, it's nothing biggie. He had this schedule where it was crazy, 3 days on, 2 days off, 12-hour shifts. One shift will be, day shift, and then the next time it'll be night shift. Mm-hmm. So it's like it'll be a week where we barely even see him because of his work schedule, which is understandable. We're in the military. I got to hold down the home front regardless. But it'd be like them times that you have to be home with your family used to be, he would do more shit for his boys than he would do for me.
Damn. Okay.
And that it got to a point where it was just like, all right, I can't. To the point where I can't even drive your car that I help you finance to do all the shit to. How we go get cars. We both get some whatever. And we both young, so we know we want to hook our cars up. We want to get paint jobs, tinted, rims, all that shit. We want to look like how we want to look.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, let's do mine first, and then we'll do yours next. I'm a submissive wife. Okay, babe. Let's do it. Who, out of all the cars we done got, who had the hooked up little Fast and the Furious car, everything? He always did. Mm-hmm. My car was just functional and everything, just it worked how I needed to work. We got a bigger car when I had my daughter, but it was never hooked up the way I wanted it to be hooked up. Who had the systems and the rims and all that shit in their car? He did. It got to the point where one time I tried to go get something by myself, but I couldn't because there was stuff on my credit that I didn't even know was on my credit. So they're using my Social Security card as a co-signer to get certain shit. When he needed money or wanted something, I give him half, no questions asked. He wouldn't ask what's in my savings account or anything, and I would give it to him. I would be broke giving him stuff, but he would have all the money in his savings, all the money in his checking. He just didn't want to spend his money. He'd rather spend mine.
Well, that marriage thing is
crazy. My second marriage, so my first marriage, we didn't have joint accounts or whatever, anything like that. And, that kind of made me mad because I never knew what he really had. Even though I was higher ranking than him, I always felt as though because I was always a giver, he was better with money than I was. I'm always giving it to him. Shit, whatever, fuck it. So in my second marriage, we did have joint accounts.
Okay.
But what scared me, we had our own accounts and we had joint accounts. And I was always terrified. He'd be like, you could put money in it. All the money I'm putting in this account is our money. So if you need money when you're out, you need to do something, like you don't have to call. I would always call, hey, I'm short on this. Can you mind if I take some money out the joint account? He'd be like, it's our account. Like, use it. But I just felt like because I didn't put as much money in it that he did, I just wasn't entitled to as much as I needed sometimes. But he would always make me feel like it was okay. And I always tell him I was always scared. It got to the point where I was putting a lot of money in the account because I just wanted to contribute just as much. Because my second marriage, he was higher ranking than me.
Okay.
So he made more money than me. So whatever. And I remember one time I went out of town and I had natural hair. My hair was down to my waistline, fully natural, y'all, down to my waistline.
Okay.
I would always take my ring off in the shower to detangle my hair to wash it.
Okay.
At home, I probably wore my ring half the week because most of the time it was sitting in the shower because I left it from washing my hair and rushing out to, get to work or get to where I'm going. And if I don't remember before I leave the house, it's just there. I got to get to work. It is what it is. But my name didn't change. Like, we know what it is. It was no biggie. He would never fuss as long as I didn't lose it. Because, you know, sometimes I misplay my, I don't worry about my ring. But as long as I didn't lose it, we was Gucci. I went out of town, my same old routine, left the ring in the shower, and he woke up and saw me post a whole bunch of pictures on the gram, and I ain't have no ring on. Now, the pictures I post, I went to a convention. I used to be part of some kind of travel company, and we had conventions. They talk to you, make you feel good about yourself, like you're doing something great. Boom, de booty boop. I'm at a convention taking pictures with posters of the speakers. I'm not even with nobody in these pictures. And he mad, you don't have your ring on. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I left it in the shower. Like, you know I love you. Like, I'm so sorry. We go out to dinner. It's me and my homegirl who rode at me because we drove all the way out to Texas. And I was stationed in Alabama, and we drove all the way to Texas. And I had my daughter with me. I tried to use my card to pay for dinner. It got declined. And I was like, what? So I checked the bank account. I have no money. $0 left in my account.
Wow.
Or in our joint account, but I was putting all my money in that account, so whatever. I hit him up, and he was like, well, since you don't want to wear your ring, I guess you ain't got no money.
Oh, wow.
Touche. I said that was always my fear with having a joint account. People think they have control of me of what I can and can't do. That hurt and scored me for. It's really hard for me to trust a guy financially. Like, how you leave me stranded? Not just me.
I don't blame you.
I can understand if it was just me, whatever. I can get over it. But the fact that me and my daughter.
Yeah.
Me and my daughter? You ain't leave me a little 500 just so I can get back or something? Like, you ain't leave me nothing? You just took it all? Just all? So, we react the way we react after we go through certain things. You know, sometimes that's the only way we know how to cope with certain things. I know I filed for divorce with both of them, but I knew long term I could probably not be with them like that because it was a communication thing. As soon as we got back to the room, I would have put my ring on and made sure, told my homegirl, hey, don't let me leave this because I don't need him tripping again or something, you know. Put a reminder on my phone.
But I'm pretty sure that incident, like you said, scarred you. Like, even with your relationship, like after that, it wasn't the same.
Yeah, after that, it was not the same when I got back in town. I was like, you know what? I'm going to sleep. I'm not even going to kick you out the room. I'm going to sleep on the couch myself. I don't even want to sleep near you. I don't trust you. He thought it was just the devil trying to tear us apart. But I was like, no, mentally, I'm just not here anymore. The fact that you were able to leave me stranded
with no money,
my daughter with nothing just blew my fucking mind. I don't want to be with a person like that. Who would want to be with a person? I can forgive a lot of things. I can forgive you cheating before you leave me, leaving me with nothing. You could cheat on me, and I'm not saying to the next person, but you could cheat on me, and I could probably forgive you depending on how the cheating was or whatever, and how you communicated me, how I found out, whatever. We could work through certain things like that. But that?
Yeah.
You had it in your mind, oh, you know what? Let me log in. Knowing the situation.
Just that quick.
Just that quick. And it's nothing I could do about it. I can't go to court. I can't call the police. It's a joint account.
No.
It's a joint fucking account. I can't call the bank. Any money I put in it, I'm not going to get back. He just took it.
Well, hopefully the guys are listening so they know what not to do.
Oh, these guys, I'm so over these niggas. I'm over it, even though I'm still looking. I will definitely say I am the type, I am not looking to get married again. And I say that because I don't want the government or the state involved in my relationship.
Yes.
That's why I say that. I still want to be in I wouldn't say exclusive because I do want to do poly, but we'll talk about that in a second. I want to be in a traditional relationship up to the point where I feel as though our foundation is strong enough to bring in other people.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people want to start off poly, and that's hard because then you may connect more with other people and blah, blah, blah. The military probably has scorned me. I need a hierarchy. I'm the main bitch in this relationship, and these are our sub-hoes, our sub-wives, that we have. Whatever, maybe one or two. But we have such a strong relationship and a strong foundation. Nobody can come up here and fuck up what we got.
Exactly.
If anything, we be like, this bitch is causing too much toxic shit. She gotta go.
Exactly.
Like, this bitch gotta go. Fuck what we thought. Boom, boom, boom. I already know most men are not gonna be open with me being with other men, but I don't even want to be with other men. Once I found the man I want to be with, I'm okay with him. But I do want a girlfriend. So that's why I would be open to it, but I want to build up to that.
Exactly.
But anyways, we've been over here talking about marriage. We over here talking about women.
These are just life situations, and a lot of people are going through these things, so I'm sure they like to hear what somebody else's perspective on the things I go through or I'm experiencing right now. So yeah, so I think that's a good thing.
We touched a little bit of everything, boy, and I didn't even have my notes down. But so after we done got to know you a little bit intimate, we know who you are kind of as a man. I feel like you're more a traditional man.
Yes.
You date with intentions.
Yes.
And you're very
course.
communicative about that.
Very, yes.
So ladies,
Communication
if you stepping
is key.
up,
Mm-hmm.
step up properly.
Yes.
We ain't gonna tolerate no disrespect.
No.
None of that, because that's
Not one
obviously
bit.
a huge deal breaker.
A huge
And don't hang
one.
up on him either, because
No.
he not having it. So tell us, you a rapper from the 305.
Yes, ma'am.
How did we get into music?
Well, family was into music. I have an uncle, which my mother's brother. He used to do a lot of music. He used to take me to the studio with him. This was middle school. I was, 7th, 8th grade, hanging out in a studio full of weed-smoking dudes.
I'm crying.
Yes. Catching secondhand smoke contact in the 7th, 8th grade while they write rhymes, and they putting me on some of their songs and stuff. But even before that, like, I used to sit, and God honest truth, in elementary, this is when, back in the 90s, West Coast rap was really big. Everybody from the West was bumping. So I used to listen to a lot of West Coast rap. So what I started...
Wait, even with you being here, because you're originally from Miami, right?
Yeah, born and raised,
Carol
Carol City all day. So, but the thing was, that's what was popping at the time. And, Warren G, Snoop, all of them was the biggest thing in the game. So that's what we listened to. That's what we listened to. So
NWA,
all of that. So I just started just trying to let me try this rhyming thing. And I just used to start it. So after I did it so much, I would write rhymes on papers, not even in a booklet. I would write rhymes and staple them together, and I would create albums. Like I would actually write full front back, probably like 20 pages, and then staple, okay, this is an album. And then it just went from there. And then when I started going to the studio with my uncle, they really started putting me on some of their songs. So I was
you had
like,
stuff written already.
yeah, but I never used none of that stuff because that was practice or whatever. I would write new stuff.
Okay.
And we used to go to back then, what's the name was big? Like record labels used to go to like hotels and talent agencies. So I was in a group with some more people in the neighborhood. We used to go to the talent agencies and stuff like that. And I was just always into hip hop. Like I love hip hop. Like people ask me, like a lot of people, like even to this day, they be like, you really into sports? Like what you know about sports? I'll be like, look, man, I'm not really a sports person, but ask me anything about hip hop. I bet I could tell you from back in the day till now. So it's just stuck with me. So here I am, just doing my thing.
So how many years in total you think you've been rapping and doing music?
I'm gonna count from when I would count it from when I first originally did my first recording, and I would say since 96, 97, around that time, yes.
I was still in middle school.
Yeah, so we used to hang the mic. We had you have the karaoke. We used to hang the mic over the what you call it?
So we've been hanging mics for long.
Yeah, over the fan, and we used to record it and on tapes. A lot of people don't know about tapes because
I know about a cassette tape.
Well, of course you know about it, but I mean I know a lot of younger kids don't know about cassette tapes. But yeah, and we used to record our demos. They used to call them demos, and that's what we used to give to the record people at the hotel conventions and the talent agency. So that's where it started, and it's just going. And I just love being able that I've seen how the game has progressed over the years. It's been different eras, the 2000s, the 2010s. Now we're in the 2020s, and music has changed a lot.
Huge.
A lot over there. So
it is not the same at all. I feel like it's a very, very small percentage of actual lyrical rappers these days. And now more so it's content rappers.
I honestly think it's more than we know. They just don't get the exposure.
You're right. Actually, you're right. You're right.
Look, the powers that be that run the industry, I guess that's not what sells. So it doesn't get heavy promotion. The name of the game, let's be honest, in music, no matter how much you love music, the name of the game is to make money. And everything out here is about money. Nothing is free. The name of the game is to be successful and make money. So people are going to display and put out what makes money, no matter what it is. So a lot of rappers, I think, even the ones that's in the game that's famous, some of them have said it in their lyrics that yo, I dumb a lot of my stuff down. The lyrical miracle level I want to go to, nobody's going to listen to that. So I do what's trendy and whatever, but I do my thing lyrical, but I do it in a way where people can understand and it won't turn them off. So yeah, so the ones that you talk about, the real lyricists like that, they just don't get as much exposure. And a lot of them are underground. Yeah, a lot of them don't want the mainstream exposure. They even said, like, I don't want that spotlight like that. Because I think a lot of rappers are introverts. A lot of them want to do the sport, but they don't, I don't want the cameras and everything, all of that. So some people want it and some people don't. Then you have a lot of people that just want the fame. So they'll just do whatever so they can just be
they can. Get that money, get the lights all in their face. A lot of them yearn for that, and you're right, and they'll do whatever it takes to get it. So with us being in 2023 and knowing how much music has changed, how do you identify your music?
I would say with doing this so long and you come from the old school way, my thing is the way I do it, I still put substance into my music. If you listen to my songs, I'm talking about something. It's always a subject in the song. I don't just make random. Like you might have random songs like for mixtapes and stuff, but all of my EP or LP projects, every song is talking about a specific subject. We're talking about whether it's girls, whether it's, how life is, whether it's going through some things, in the industry, whatever it is. But it's always, when you listen, okay, he's talking about this, he's talking about that, he's talking about that. So I also can adapt. That's what I like. I can adapt to whatever's going on at the time. Yeah. So of course, I'm not going to try to sit here and talk about something that I'm not going to try to rap like it's 98. I'm going to adapt to what's going on because it's good to do that because a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people, like I see people post on a lot of people's music and be like, man, this sound like this, man, this rapper is still stuck in 2010. Yeah. I see that a lot. A lot of people say, oh, this rapper's still stuck in 2010. Man, that old flow ain't going to match now. So you have to learn to adjust. And a lot of the greats do it. I see J. Cole do it. I see Jay-Z do it. All of them, they can adjust. Wayne, I see them. They can adjust to whatever's going on at the moment. And I think that's just years of being able to construct lyrics. Yeah. You pick up on that. So, yeah.
I would definitely say I got introduced to Clientele because I got to engineer him a couple of times and record him. And I would say your music definitely tells a story. You're always telling a story in your songs. Your hooks go with the verse, and the verse responds to the hook. It's like a complete story. You don't feel like, only a portion of your song makes sense or only a portion of your song is going to hit. Like, I feel like you have a whole complete package when you actually do your songs. So my next question, no problem. My next question would be, like, who has been your biggest influencers from when you first started to now?
First started, it was definitely artists like if people watch my videos, they see I've always been a jewelry person. And I even have old pictures of when I was young. There's a picture that I plan on probably using for a cover. I probably was like in the 2nd or 3rd grade where you used to take the pictures where you sit and you have on your little button-up shirt at school. And I have on like 4 big chains. And I asked my mom, I was like, why did you let me go to school with that on? She was like, you wanted to wear it. So that's why I say I was a spoiled child. She usually let me do whatever. So Slick Rick was definitely one of my first.
Oh, okay. That's why you're such a good storyteller, because he tells the story.
Yes, and he's very dope lyricist. But what he was known for, all of the jewelry. And I don't know, I just been obsessed with jewelry since and not just because I want to be the flag. I like how it looks on me, so that's why I wear a lot of jewelry. But I would say people like Slick Rick, Snoop Dogg, Warren G, Tupac, all of them. Biggie was also a great story. I was a big Biggie fan. He told great stories. He was a great storyteller.
Yes, he was.
And I would say, like, over the years, of course, and then another big influencer was definitely Wayne. Wayne, and that was because when I picked up on Wayne, it was when Juvenile dropped. That was the first time. But what really stood out to me was how young he was amongst all those older guys holding it down. And you know, when you young, you want to see like, oh, he's
someone
young,
like you.
He's young too. So I followed Wayne since before his first album, before The Block Is Hot, and I followed him all the way through. So Wayne was definitely the Bathing Ape era. We was in the club with Bathing Ape hoodies on, hot as shit.
That.
This is like 2006. I have pictures of that with us Bathing Apes on in the club. So Wayne, and I would say now. Well, and I've always been a big Jay-Z fan since Reasonable Doubt. Hove is the GOAT to me, but Hove, J. Cole,
saying a lot of GOATs.
Yeah, Kendrick, like all of those guys, like the new, those are the newer people. So I still stick to the kind of lyrical people, and one of my biggest, because he's not mainstream, but he's very known and he's successful, is Currency. I'm a big Currency fan. Shout out to Spitter. I'm a big Currency fan, and I think not only is his music good, but how he stays still in the mix. He's not super famous, and that's what I meant about some of them. I think they don't want to be like that top Drake spot where it's flash and they're the biggest. But like basically, you know what? I do enough. I have my fan base. They buy everything that I drop, and my shows are packed out, and I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, that's the kind of route. I don't want to really be the big one. I just want to be like how Currency's fan base is, because it's low key. You have your permanent supporters that will support everything you do, and you just chill and live life. And I feel like you could live a better life like that, because when you in that light, you always on go. Like you can't even sit down. You can't sit down for a minute. So I think that'd be too much. And I think a lot of people can't handle it. And I think that's why a lot of rappers, if you notice, some of them that be in that spotlight, they go and they take 2-3 years off. And I think it's probably because they done been worked so much. They be like, you know what? All right, man, I got to take a break. Yeah. So those people are who I still listen to this day, and who I would say I piggyback off of with everything I have going on.
So with you being such a big hip-hop head and a lover of music, what are your thoughts, or why do you think, other than the low attention span of people nowadays? I saw a post not too long ago, and it stated that since from back in the day, not one hip-hop album has kept the #1 spot on Billboard. Back in the day, one artist can claim that spot and hold it. Nowadays, they might be up there a couple of days, a week. No one's holding it for months at a time anymore. It's just up and down, back and forth. What do you think is really influencing that, and how do you think we can get back to supporting, the albums or the rappers that are really out there doing the work?
Well, the reason why I don't think that happens now is because the game has totally changed. Everything has totally changed. First, there are no hard copies unless you order. Unless I noticed now a lot of people order vinyls.
Yeah, vinyls have definitely come back.
Which I think that's dope, because that's how it started. It started with vinyls. So a lot of people.
From 4 to 5.
Yeah. A lot of people and a lot of people sometimes they don't even play them. They just collect them.
Yeah, they collect them. I collect them and I play some of them. I don't open all my vinyls, but
you see what I'm saying? So I think that's a dope thing that's come back. But I mean, I think it was bad when it went from cassettes and CDs to streams.
Yeah.
I think that's where the game got watered down, because it's a lot going on with that. They have streaming farms and all type of stuff. You don't know, did this person really get a billion streams, or was it paid for? Like, it's just it's all payola. Like nowadays, I feel like it's just, look, man, I need that single to go platinum. So who we got to pay off to do it? I don't know, but I be in the industry too with some people, so you hear things, but I don't know. But
I agree with that.
Yeah. So what I say is that when it went to streams, you even heard people say it, like certain record labels or people do interviews, and they be like, this is all about the money. We just need whoever gonna sell. And this is another way how it changed, how the game changed. Instead of an artist or whatever, a producer being like, hey, send me the hottest person, we gonna, let me hear him, we gonna blow him up. There are requirements now, and you'll see it. A big producer will get online and say, hey, send me a person that's hot, I'm gonna play. But They must have over 500,000 followers.
Facts.
They have to have this. They have to have things going, and it's because they don't want to do the work no more. Look, you basically
Yes.
already, you have to come to me polished already. But then that means I'm just gonna put my cosign on you, and I get the money instead of doing the work. It's all about the money now. Look, man, I'm only here to make money. I don't care about the art, and that's not right because a lot of us do this for the art. The only way I think for us to get back to it, would be everything would have to come around in a circle like fashion does. High top fades and stuff was out back in the 80s. It disappeared. It's coming back. Yeah. Everything has to come back full circle, which we know it'll never go back to cassettes and CDs. That's
we never going back to that.
Yeah.
It might be fun for like a little giveaway or something.
Yeah, but the only way for us to get back to that is people really have to start caring about music. First of all, you said it earlier. A lot of people, a lot of people have a short attention span.
Yeah.
That's why albums are only lasting 28, 30 minutes. You know, growing up, albums was an hour or something. More. So now people, and songs were 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Now songs are 2:15. And I'm going to be honest, at first it was hard for me to adjust to that because I'm not used to doing stuff so quick. And I'm like, what happened to the game where everything is 2 minutes now and albums are 15, 20 minutes? But we learned that everyone has a short attention span now. Mm-hmm. So what did I have to do? I had no choice but to grow with the game. You know, just do what I do, but do it in a quicker time span and do it into the formula that the game is formulated in. Yeah. So the only thing I can say that we could do to get back is people just have to really put their heart and put out better music and definitely better do promotion. A lot of people don't promote their shit. That's why I don't go nowhere. And that's in any business. If you promote it and put it out there, it'll go. Other than that, a lot of people will put it out and be like, well, we'll just see what it do. You're not going to put nothing behind it? Nah, I mean, you know, my name big enough. We'll just, no, get out there and promote it. Post it, whatever. Do whatever you have to do to get that buzz going because nobody's going to help you in the end. So
that's big facts. And I know I'm guilty as a recording mixing engineer when I be in sessions sometimes and, you know, the producer always sends a nice lengthy beat so we could do what we need to do with it. But sometimes asking me what you think, I be like, bruh, it's too long. Why we got this 4-minute song? Why we got 3 verses? Like, we not doing that no more. Yeah. If you want this feature, you need to take one of your verses out, bruh. I'm so sorry. Like that's my honest opinion, and that's true. Because people's attention span is so short now. I still love the fact that Chris Brown's still putting 30, 40 songs on the album.
They complained about that when that came out.
I know. I loved it.
Why does this album have so many? I'm like, see, this is what I'm talking about.
And then when we went to the concert, it was fucking everything. He performed almost every fucking song, all the songs you wanted him to perform anyways. And it was amazing. And I would say this. I think, because you mentioned that a lot of these days that the producers, A&Rs, all these people only want to work with people who've already established themselves on social media. It's because no one wants to do or pay for the artist development anymore. So if they can find a social influencer who has a voice or who they can write for, that is so much easier than developing someone to build that actual fan base.
I'm glad you said that.
This person, you find a social influencer can sell lip gloss to freaking anybody, can wear a t-shirt and now everybody's going to wear that t-shirt, or cut their shirt this way and now everybody's cutting, they're influencing people. Yeah. So the industry sees it, oh, well, if we just put a song with this, like we don't have to, you have a fan base. They think that's a fan base. And I feel like a lot of artists who aren't as established as the social influencers, I feel like the only thing they are missing is the actual artist development. Because I feel like with artist development, the fan base will come because a lot of y'all don't know how to perform on stage. A lot of y'all don't know what exactly your sound is. And that is so important when I feel like when it comes to...
A lot of people don't have a sound these days.
Yeah, they don't. They're just coming out with different singles and different tracks.
But you know what? You just said something that was important, like you just said. It basically is if the person, they're not signing artists, they're signing influencers. So the influencer might be like, okay, this is fun for a while, but then after a while, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. Being that you signed an artist who, hey, I'm here for the work. I'm here for the bust out. So I think that's a big part of it. A lot of people are plants. We're going to be honest. A lot of people are planted in the industry. And look, you big already. Look, you want to do this rap stuff? Oh, yeah, this seems fun for a year or two. Let's do it. And then when a person don't come out for a while, you're like, well, why this person ain't dropping no new music? They probably don't even want to do it no more because they were never an artist. They were an influencer. Listen, they just want to go back to posting their little things and getting their little credibility on social media. They don't want to do interviews. They don't want to sit down and talk to nobody. They don't want to do video shoots. They don't want to do sound check. They don't want to do shows. It's work. And I've learned that.
Yes, it's a lot of work.
The industry is work. It's not and I think that's the part a lot of people don't see that. They just see the videos. They see the movies. Mm-hmm. They see the award shows. Like you said, they don't see the nights in the studio. We there 12 hours all week.
15 hours. Look, the junk
sound check. Like you said, sound like I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really know about sound check till a couple of years ago. I was like, oh, they do that. And I've seen some sound checks and I'm like, damn, that's work too. So remember, you have sound check, then you got the actual show. So that's double the work. And I think a lot of people like, yo, this too much, man. Look, I thought this was gonna be fun. It was fun for a while, but I don't want to do this no more.
And you can also see it in the changing culture, because I was talking to somebody the other day, and honestly, and I could be wrong. I could be so wrong, because I can't see every artist performing right now. But one of the few artists we know for a fact that's still performing without a backup track is Beyonce. Nowadays, a lot of performers, they always have the backup track so they can dance and do all this and this and that and focus on this and that. They can't perform live. They do not sound like their tracks.
Do you feel like a lot of rappers do that? You think they have the backup track? I've seen Rick Ross do it without one, and he's pretty dope with it. But I mean, that's just me.
There are some rappers that can do it, but there are a lot of rappers, even with the mumbling, they don't understand how important breath control is on a live performance. So you don't even understand, if they don't have a backup track, you don't know what they're saying.
And then you move around. It ain't like you in the studio where you're standing in one place.
Yeah, you know, the engineer can't just turn you up. I mean, they should have went. There should be somebody back there, but they're not always in a fancy place, you know, where they have the sound engineer to be able to do that. But like breath control is that you can't and then you're just going off the ad-libs and you can't let the hype man take over.
Yeah.
You know, you're just going through the motions. Like, people have to understand, as an artist, you have to be a complete package.
Yes.
Even with rappers, sometimes certain songs, y'all might need a budget to have some girls come out and dance on stage with y'all. And you have to coordinate the rehearsals for all that, and booty boo. You know, not all songs is gonna be hard where you know, boom, 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 you're being lyrical. Go on this side, make them scream. Go on that side. Sometimes you need that extra, that oddness, and like, oh my God, if it's a booty shaking song, you have no one on stage shaking their ass. It's like, you're not selling it to me. You know what I'm saying?
Sense.
You know, hire you two dancers that have a little cute little, or like they said, it's so socially influenced, have them come do whatever TikTok. Find you a dancer, pay them to create you a TikTok dance.
There go promo. That's promo right there.
So now you can perform that junk everywhere, bring them girls with you everywhere, and now you got promo. Get the biggest influencers to be doing it, or at least put their song.
Sound like you need to be in artist development. That's what
I
it
should be doing
sounds like.
a lot of things. I just see things, and like, it's also lessons learned from myself, from me trying to be an artist. You know, it's like I realize there's a whole bunch of things, and now like I hear the complaints of saturated artists, and I get terrified that I'm falling in a saturated artist category because I don't have the budget or the financial means to really develop myself the way I want to be developed. So it's just like I look at all the other people that have the things that I know I need to have, or what they're doing good, what they're doing bad, how can I move differently. And then luckily, because I'm an engineer, I work with mainstream artists and local artists, I do get to hear the behind the scene conversations with A&Rs and labels. And I'm hearing how they're comparing who to this and that to that. It's just like, oh, it's a lot.
And I want to say this, that's another thing that I have learned. It costs a lot of money.
A lot of
this
money.
industry costs a lot. Just little stuff. You get an interview here or a paid promo here. Shoot this video with this person. It's all.
Don't even go there.
Costs.
Studio time. Not just getting your song recorded. You got to pay for the mix and the master. And a lot of artists don't understand the difference, or they feel as though they can just go and put and release a song they just recorded at the studio.
Unmastered song.
Yeah. No.
No.
Go ahead and invest in yourself. Make sure your stuff sounds like it's supposed to be on the radio. Make sure your stuff is mixed well. We don't want to hear all those huffs and puffs, during your raps, but you don't want it too clean because you can't perform it that way. But I've seen this one lady, I want to call her Strings, and I can't think of her Instagram right now, but like I've seen her working with artists who are like on a come up locally, and I see her developing them. She literally has them like running on the treadmill, rapping their lyrics.
Wow. Oh, okay.
And that's artist development, because when you get on stage and your adrenaline is running and you got to walk, depending on how big that stage is, you get out of breath so fast.
Easy.
Way faster than performing in the studio, in the booth. Because it's just you and that mic, you and the engineer. You can tell the engineer to stop when you need him to stop. You can redo it if you mess it up. It's no messing up on stage. You need to be able to have that breath control. Or know when to take a breath so you can continue on. And those things are taught. I mean, some people are naturally really good at that. But if you factor in the adrenaline pumping and your blood going, that takes away your breath. You know, you'll be surprised how you perform on stage compared to how you perform on that mic. And I've seen things like that, and I'm like, man, that's real. So I used to go out running, trying to rap my stuff. You know, can I rap and run? If you could rap and run, I feel like you good.
Yeah.
Because that's huge.
A lot of people, and that's what I think. That's what I'm saying about the influencer thing. I think labels and people who are trying to do the music or be behind the scenes, you got to do the artist development. If you see an artist and you like, you know what, this person has potential. Oh, but they don't got enough followers, so never mind. Next.
Never mind. Yeah, next. And they be passing up on a good jewel. Like, you'll never know who's really in there. And another thing I absolutely feel as though we need to get better up. I know there's so many artist showcases and open mics and all this other stuff. I feel like if an artist is in artist development, you pick and choose which open mics you go to. You don't go to every single one of them, because all you're doing is teaching other artists how to be a better you. When you're just performing artist for artist, because there's no real crowd other than a whole bunch of other artists, how are you really benefiting yourself, your brand, and how are you building a fan base?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're just stealing each other's shit.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And so those are things you just got to think about. So anyways, we could talk about this all freaking day and all freaking night. Tell us, we just dropped an EP.
Yes. Miami EP, M-I-A-M-I, which is an acronym
for... it's an acronym. I kept thinking, I know the whole thing.
Oh, because you see...
Because it spells it all the way out.
Yeah.
It's actually...
if you look at the cover, it's just the letters. But when you see the title, it spells it out. So, yeah.
Okay, you caught me off that one. That one I didn't know. So tell them what the acronym stands for.
Millions intrigue all my interests.
Millions intrigue all my interests.
And of course, I got to show some love to the city, of course. So that's why I named it that. But it's a small EP. I usually do my EPs like 9 tracks.
Six tracks?
6 or I can't remember if it's 6 or 7. I don't want to be wrong. It's either 6 or 7. But I have so much music. And shout out to my manager, Swa Playmaker. Been a Swa.
Wait a minute. Swa's your manager?
Yeah, he manages me.
I thought he was your mentor / best friend.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, he's the reason.
Beautiful.
He's the reason why, like, all of the promo and like, when you see me post, this blog just dropped this. He's in charge of all that because he has the connections. I tell him all the time when we have conversations or meetings on the phone. I be like, bro, I'm just the artist. I don't know what to do. Just tell me where to put everything in it, and he be like, all right, I'm gonna take care of it. Boom, I got you. So I told him, look, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I want to do. So he was like, cool, just go out there and do it. So I put it out. But the thing about it is, I have so much music. He used to be like, bro, you can't just be sitting. I'm like, no, I'm waiting for the right time to drop. He's like, bro, there's never a right time.
Drop it.
Just drop it. So I was like, yeah, a lot of this stuff is just sitting. So I took a collection of 6 or 7 songs out of that, and I put it together for this. And I'm going to be shooting a lot of videos for it soon. So I put it out. It's already out. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. It's
on Tidal.
It's everywhere right now. So it's good to go. It's right on there. Just type in Clientele, Miami. It'll pop up. So you'll see it. So it's great.
Y'all make sure y'all tap in with that. And he also has plenty other albums you definitely could check out.
Yes.
You just released another video, too, a couple of months ago.
Yes, the last video that I released was the Just Another Day video, which that song will be on a future EP that's coming out. But YouTube, Clientele, you'll see it. It's the last video that I posted. We shot it down by Wynwood in front of, I'm sure everybody knows because it's a popular place, but that big speaker that's spray painted, that's a big speaker. A big boom box. It's a big boom box. And we shot it right out there on a nice sunny day down here in South Florida. And what I love about here, there's so many places down here to shoot videos, And they could be all in the same area and you would never know it.
And you would never know it. And a lot of people have to understand you don't always have to pay for studio time to shoot a video, guys. And I'm not talking about like a recording studio. I'm talking about we have all these different type of content studios and everything. Outside is free 99 for the most part, as long as you don't bring a huge crowd with you.
Exactly.
You can get away with so much stuff out here. I be driving around all the time, be like, oh, I need to remember this wall.
You see what I'm saying?
I can have a whole photo shoot right here. Like,
man, I missed out on a wall. There was a wall down there by the new base, the Florida, the Marlins Stadium.
Okay.
The wall, I passing by leaving. I remember I took my son to this was a few years ago. I took him to the monster truck convention.
Okay.
When we were leaving, we were coming down a certain street and there was an alleyway and there was a brick wall and it had a big chief airbrushed on it. And I know it's not there no more because that was so many. I was like, I gotta remember to come back to this wall and at least take some pictures in front of it. But yeah, South Florida has so much great areas to shoot at. Like, you could just pick a camera and just go outside and just shoot, and you got a whole scene.
Facts, facts. So with you releasing music, what can we expect next?
Well, since the EP is out, I have like 3 ready, but I'm not gonna release them till later.
Wait, you got 3 EPs ready?
Yeah.
I'm crying.
Because
you
I mean, you know how we work. Come in and just record because. And I remember who I heard say, I think Ludacris and Future does that also. They just record and just slap it on a hard drive and just, sit down and, let's go through all these. Okay, I'm going to pick the best 8 out of this mix. This album, the best. And I think a lot of people don't do that. And that's why a lot of people be taking so long to drop music because they doing so much other stuff. But when you got time and you got some beats or something, just drop. And just keep it stashed. So you know what? It's about time for you to drop another. Okay, let's go through this folder. Let's see what we have that's good. And we all come together and pick out what's the best selection for me to drop. So from this, since that one is out now, we're just going to be shooting videos. For the rest of 2023, just videos are going to be dropping on the YouTube. Just music videos.
Yeah, that's amazing because even I recently got to interview Kodak and we asked them because we heard on social media and a lot of artists that I know, they were getting requests to work with Kodak and we was asking him if he was dropping, a Florida artist EP or whatever. And he did confirm he is. He's dropping 2 Florida albums, one with all the old school Florida people and with all the new upcoming Florida people. He dropping 2. But he said at this point, he ain't even got to record. He got so many albums recorded already. He's just out here performing, living his best life, planning for when he is going to drop all that stuff. And I feel like as an artist, I got to be like a breath of fresh air. Not to have to be like, oh, I got to go to the studio for like all these weeks and I got to get this album ready. Like the songs is done, it's recorded, it's over. And
then you hear how you saying it. I feel like by a person doing that, like waking up like, oh man, I got to go to the studio. Man, I got 8 days to drop about 10 songs. It's going to be rushed.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be something you wanted to do. Man, just load this up. Let me just run through it real quick. And I think some people do that also, but that's why you have to record when you're in the mood. Hey man, I feel like making music today. Okay, let's book out for about 10 hours. Let's just go ham and just drop stuff. Because when you rush and make music, you put out shitty projects.
Facts.
Now you losing your fan base. Man, that last shit he dropped was trash, man. I ain't messing with him. Now you losing your fan base. Goes back to what I said, have a passion for this. Don't just do this because, man, I got to pay this bill, so I'm going to just do this. No.
Yeah, I can't afford studio time this week.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So do it. Do this because you want to do it and because you have a love for it. And I feel like that with any profession or any hobby. Don't just do it just to do it. Do it because I love doing this. So that's how I feel.
No, that's great advice right there. So do we have any shows? How can your fans come see you perform? Are we going to do anything, a release party with this last EP we dropped? Like, what's going on? Talk to me. Because this one was like, this was something for the summer. So it was just something just put out. But the next EP, that will be a big EP because there's I will name it once it comes out, but there's a lot of big producers on that EP and a couple big features on that EP. So for that one, we will do. Get into that. Yeah, that one will be an album release party for that one because that one is huge and that one comes with a lot behind it. We pushing out a lot for that one. Yeah. But this is something for the summer for people to listen to until we get ready for the next one. And we haven't set up any shows yet because we still shooting so many videos and we want to push all this content out. So that's what we're busy doing, content, because we know content is where it's at. People like listening to your music, but they rather see you.
So that's where music,
that's correct.
that's where music videos, content people want to see. People want to see. That's why they always got their phone in. They want to see. So that's why we just using the rest of these months to push out videos, drop videos. And also once we get situated, then we'll be on the road to do shows. So that's coming up.
Okay. So it sounds like you got a big plan. Now, you beat me to the punch. I was going to ask you, on this next EP we're working on or any music we're working on, can we expect any features and any big producers? Now, I know you want to hold some of this information before you give out, but do we have anybody from South Florida we're going to be excited to hear on the album?
Yes.
And I'm not talking about Sway either.
No. Swab been on all my other stuff, so it's cool. But no. I have a couple of big, and I'm in the works of getting some more Miami people on here because
Are they going to be all Miami features?
No, not all.
Okay,
not all,
okay.
but
I was
some
curious.
because I've said this for the longest. Miami doesn't get enough credit for the music scene.
Facts.
They don't, and there's so much talent here that's it's under the radar. So we got the big city shout out. We got Atlanta, we got Cali, we got New York. You would think Miami would be in those runnings too, but people don't talk about Miami a lot. And I'm sure you've noticed there's not a lot there's a lot of artists here, but there's not a lot of artists here. And I say that as saying there's some here, but the world doesn't know about them.
Facts. You're right. People don't come to Miami for music.
Music, yeah.
They come to Miami for vacation, for the water, for the experience. Like you go to New York, you go to LA, and you go to Atlanta for music. You go to Nashville for music. You go, certain places for music. But you're right. The conversation when it comes up Miami, you're not, I can't wait to go hear the music out in Miami or to go check out. I'm flying all the way out to Miami to go see this artist. And,
why do you think that though?
I don't.
Because you work with a lot of
you're
artists.
Right. I don't know. It's weird because we got a lot of great artists here. Other than I feel as though if they don't have a major label pushing them, then they don't make it out of Miami. Ross and all them made it. They had Slip and Slide. It started Plaza and all them made it. Trina Trick. They done made it. They had Slip and Slide and everybody pushing them and being able to take them out of Miami. But for an independent artist like Iceberg, Briscoe,
a lot of
why are they not known nationally? It troubles my mind. But I
think the state has a lot to do with it. A lot of people from Miami don't even make it past Tallahassee. And
you're right.
You know what? Somebody else said this, and I agree. They say because Miami is its own world.
It is.
In the state of Florida. Florida is Florida, but Miami is its own world.
People get angry with me when I be like, I don't care if we in Miami or not. We're still in the United States of America. And if y'all don't know how to speak English, y'all should at least make an effort. Because I'm just trying to understand why I'm here and I can't understand anything.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand it. It's a whole nother country.
It's like
a whole nother country within
it is.
itself.
People, to the point where people will go somewhere and they be like, oh, you from Florida? No, I'm from Miami.
Exactly.
Like,
and
people
I'm
really serious about that.
That's part of the, okay, whatever. All right. I'm gonna let it go.
Exactly.
But anyways, so we got this EP coming out, big producers, big features to look out for. What is your ultimate goal with your music? In the
end, when it's all said and done, I want to leave behind a catalog of great things to listen to for years to come. That's it's not to just put out something quick to make a quick buck, and my music's never been like that. It's to years from now, man, that old whatever EP, man, remember that old EP he dropped? Man, I still be bumping that to this day. That's something that will make me happy and make me proud. So, of course, we all in it because we want to, make riches off of it. But that comes with you. I feel like that comes with you putting your heart and soul into it, and it'll work out for you instead of just putting out something that lasts for 2 minutes and then on to the next. So my main goal is to leave behind a great catalog for people to listen to for decades to come. So that's basically it.
That's beautiful. And what advice would you give to any artist that's just beginning or who's been in the game for a while who's trying to accomplish the same thing?
Promo is number one. You can make the hottest album, the hottest single, the hottest song, whatever, and it can sit and you can put it out. But if you don't promo it, nobody will ever know how hot it is. You have to push it. A lot of people put music, I forgot what they say, how many people upload to iTunes a day. Like, it's a crazy amount. iTunes, even SoundCloud, the underground. So many hundreds of thousands of people upload music a day.
Yeah.
How am I going to find you throughout those people if you don't promote it?
Yeah.
So promotion is number one. No matter what you drop, promote it. And especially use social media. Social media is a perfect tool for promotion. It's not free either. You have to, everything is about money. You have to pay to promote. That's the only way. Don't expect to hand your song to a big artist and, hey, play this for me, or can you hook this up for me, or whatever. Everything you have to pay for it. So just promote it. Promote it. Push it out to as many people as possible, because you never know who's listening. An A&R, an engineer, can hear it and be like, yo, get in contact with that person. Let's work with them. Let's make some moves with that person.
Yeah.
So promo. Anybody dropping music, promote it. Push it. Blogs, YouTube, social media, Instagram, all of that. Push it everywhere, and you'll be sure to get a return on your investment.
That's big facts right there. So that's advice from Mr. Clientele himself. What we didn't get to talk about is the fact that you're an artist, but you're also a tattoo artist. So make sure they know how to find your Instagram so they can tap in with you to get all the needs so they can get tatted up and so they can listen to your music.
You have 2 Instagram pages. We start off with the music Instagram, which is CLIENTELE305 on Instagram. That's for the music. And then for the tattoos, you can find me at, and of course, the name always stands out, Fuck Your Tattoos, which is FUKYOTATTOOS. So you can find me on either page. I run them. It's mine. I will answer both of them, whether it's comments or DMs.
Okay, look, you are a true artist all the way together. We're going to jump into the kitchen and he's going to cook it up. What song we going to be performing?
We can do Strong House.
We're going to do Strong House. So everybody watching on YouTube, y'all stay tuned. And everybody listening on the radio, we're going to jump into the CJ Jazz Mix. And we definitely going to throw Clientele in there. We're going to play Strong House and a couple of the new tracks. So y'all stay tuned. And until next time, you should got CJ Jazz, Hit Factory Radio, Intimate Seconds. And we got Clientele. And we out.
Peace.
A lot of shit that changed under 2 years. My mind collected hella new fears. We shared pain in the squad, we call it crew tears. Plenty things tried to break us, but we prayed up. We never fold in this war, we always stay tough. Shit, I don't say much, skills do the talking. Handle everything, plenty bills when I'm walking. Whether it's 10s, 20s, 50s, or maybe 100 piece. Stay protected, carry cash, keep a gun at least. My niggas run the streets, all can't be legal. Ball with my people, never stall for the sequel. We bring you every episode, let you take a look. Jot my life in a novel, you bet I make the book. I've been slept on, sitting here writing the next poem. I want the good out my O's, but yet the best gone. So I'm just minding my business and keep it moving. I'ma build an empire and teach the union. If you see me out here ballin', let me do what I do. Standing tall and never falling when I move with the crew. We here to get our change up, cause we on now. This place will never flame up, it's a strong house. If you see me out here ballin', let me do what I do. Standing tall and never falling when I move with the crew. We here to get our change up, cause we on now. This place will never flame up, it's a strong house. Man, shit getting serious now. Bitches move back and forth like a digital dial. I'm just trying to stage dive out of physical crowds. You do evil, then say shit is spiritual. How? We identical. God shows we got the same destiny. Strapped with old records, the sounds of shots heavenly. Beverly Hills, I'm shopping, just trying to pass the time. I do solo movie date or might grab a dime. Shit is very simple, life is what you make it. Lambo in the city, take the bike on a vacation. A quiet chick, she the type that never say shit. Barely get violent, only fighting if it's flagrant. This shit easy, we follow the rules. Fresh as hell for the day, and tomorrow was cool. So don't come apologize, cause you wrong now. You fucked up, trying to take down this strong house. If you see me out here ballin', let me do what I do. Standing tall and never falling when I move with the crew. We here to get our change up, cause we on now. This place will never flame up, it's a strong house. If you see me out here ballin', let me do what I do. Standing tall and never falling when I move with the crew. We here to get our change up, cause we on now. This place will never flame up, it's a strong house. Out here ballin', let me do what I do. Standing tall and never falling. game.